welcome back to Broken Boys. This is episode 146. I
No
am
hope.
episode
Oh.
145. See, this is how you know that I make authentic mistakes because I said it right the first time.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Did a
145.
whole apology song about that.
Yeah, that's true. I did. Don't. I hope I don't have to do that again. Um, I can pull out the uke. I can pull out the uke. Episode 145 of Broken Boys. I'm Mike.
I'm Colin.
Yes.
And it's definitely the first time we're recording this.
Definitely the first
Intro.
time we are doing this intro, and it's definitely going to be better the second time around.
Wasn't there a week where we had to re-record a whole entire episode over Discord?
Yes, there was.
Yeah.
It was some sort of themed episode, I think. Maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, because it was one of the first times we did the Discord episodes because I accidentally forgot to record my audio.
Yeah.
So it was just you, which I mean, nothing wrong with that, but it would be you talking into the oblivion for an hour, so just laughing here and there, you know.
Colin Corner 2.
Colin Corner 2, the long-awaited sequel. Anyways, yeah, that what we're referring to is we did do an intro a sec ago, but had to be redone because my program just kind of stopped recording or something. I don't know. But I'm keeping an eye on it now and hoping it does not do it again.
My fingers.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, that dastardly beautiful profile picture over there. Yeah, got a chin of steel, you know.
And he's a little.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
Yeah, I couldn't hear that, but I'm sure it.
No, it
great.
went through. Yeah,
Okay.
it sounded beautiful. But yeah.
Your guys looking a little.
Yeah. Certainly smells like it, you know.
Looks like he smelled one.
Do you know who this is, Colin?
Oh God, would it happen to be a gnome child from RuneScape?
Oh my God, you know the exact name. I didn't know you were such a RuneScape fan.
Such a fucking nerd, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know you were such a goddamn nerd, bro. Yeah, it is the gnome child from RuneScape. Woo! Hyper realistic, kind of ish. Yeah, this intro is better the second time around.
Definitely.
Y'all,
it's always the second time around.
Oh, of course. I swear to God, we had great banter in the first one.
We did.
Anyways, today we're going to be talking about Mitski and the discography of albums from Miss Mitski.
Yes.
We're going to talk about all our feelings and just in general, all our feelings. I think it's appropriate this episode to do that.
I think so too.
So stay tuned for that. But before we get there, Mr. Dreamy Colin.
Yeah.
But how was your week? How's it going?
It's been okay. Been working, been schooling. It's the last week of school before finals, so
nice.
Yeah, I finished that paper.
Hell yeah! Like past rough draft finish, like finish.
Well, I have to go in and decide whether I want to keep the edits that my peers did. Still, but, I finished that first draft, which was fun. I did a little bit on Friday night after the pod, but I was like, I can't right now. I can't focus on this right now.
Yeah.
So Saturday night I stayed up till 3 or 4. And I got 10 pages in. I was like, okay, I'll do the last few tomorrow. And I did it. I did it before I left and came back down here. I was like, hell yeah.
Hell yeah,
And
productivity.
then yeah. And then when we were when I got to peer editing, only one of the people in my group, other than me, had it up to 15 pages. I was like,
Nice.
were we not supposed? Was did I write 15 pages for no reason?
No, you probably did the right thing, I would assume.
Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, you still don't
Um,
know?
no, I don't. But
Well,
I did it, and there's no going back now.
that
So
means you're ahead of everyone. That's.
let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. We were the only group of 4 out of every group of 3 in the class.
Hmm.
So like, the person I was supposed to be editing first was like, "Hey, my paper's not going to be in until tomorrow after or tonight," and I was like, "Okay." And then he was like, "I owe you big, but it's not going to be until tomorrow afternoon," and I was like, and that was on like Sunday night,
Mm.
or no, it was like Monday. It was like Monday, so he didn't put it in until like Tuesday afternoon. And I was like, "What? There are other people I have to edit, man." um, and like, so I had to edit 2 papers in one day, and it
Awesome.
was fun. Yes, I
I'm sure.
love
I'm
it.
sure he's going to owe you in the future. Is that right?
Oh, for sure. When I
Yeah.
see him,
When you see him all the time.
yes. um,
Saying I owe you to basically a stranger is kind of a funny concept, actually.
it is.
I owe you one. I owe you one.
But yeah, I've been hanging with Marie. I've been listening to Mitski.
Mm.
Been playing the new season of Fortnite.
Oh, the
Uh,
Legos.
yeah, yeah. The Legos. They got Peter Griffin now. Um, it's it's pretty. It's a pretty cool season, honestly. Like they did like the OG Fortnite last season, and that was okay. But like, you really start to miss the updated stuff once you get back to the basics, and it's like, all right. Because after a couple weeks, it's like, okay, I could. This could have been like a week long thing. It would have been cool.
Right.
Whatever. Um, but the new season's real cool. They're doing like it's like a weird. There's like 4 different game modes this season. There's like the traditional battle royale, and then there's a racing game. There's a like a Lego like Minecraft esque thing, and then there's gonna be like a Guitar Hero type of thing that's coming out. Um, and the Guitar Hero thing has like a crazy track list. It
Oh,
has
is
like
that is that? Sorry, not to interrupt you. But to interrupt
yeah,
you. The because I saw the Eminem Fortnite event where he,
uh-huh,
kind of rapped for like 2 minutes, if that. Um,
right,
is that why there was that whole quote unquote Guitar Hero section in there?
yeah,
Gotcha. I didn't realize that was like I don't know. It felt like it was advertising that stuff more than it was an Eminem concert. If that was the
yeah,
case.
kind of.
Yeah.
Um,
All right.
but yeah, the track list is kind of crazy. Like Buddy Holly by Weezer's on there.
That's
Uh,
kind of really funny. I like that.
I know Weezer Fortnite's so funny.
Research
Uh,
Lego Fortnite.
Seven Nation Army
Okay.
by White Stripes. Emo Girl with
Oh,
by MGK.
hell yeah.
Um, and then I by Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, for a split second, I thought it was you. I was the song "You." I got them flipped in my mind for a second. Okay, that's still interesting. I'm guessing it must be a
Yeah, right.
studio version. But
I think so.
yeah,
But yeah, and then they got a bunch of weekend stuff because
that makes sense.
it's like a weekend like collab.
Okay.
And I was like, it's pretty cool. I tried a little bit of the Lego thing, and it was like, why did it take Fortnite for Lego to do something like this? Because like it's very Minecrafty, but it's
Yeah.
like it's Lego and it's like cool, and that would have been like just a cool Lego game by itself. I don't know why it took Fortnite to do
What?
that.
Yeah.
and I don't know if it's gonna last past this season. So it's like, okay, like what are they gonna do with this cool idea if it's just gonna go away after a month?
Yeah, I haven't seen much from it, but I can totally see where you're coming from with that. Like it looks like from what I've seen, it could be fleshed out into something that doesn't have to be Fortnite. But
Right.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, it's pretty cool. Uh, I was playing a little bit of Power Wash Simulator because it's free this
ooh,
month for PlayStation.
for what? Sorry.
For PlayStation Plus, it's
Ah,
one of the
okay.
free games. So I was listening to a couple Mitski albums while power washing.
I'm telling you,
Um,
man, it's a great vessel for
oh
consuming
yeah,
other content at the same time.
yeah. Before the Power Wash Simulator, I used like I turned the music off on like Tony Hawk Pro Skater, and I listened to
Yeah.
music and I played Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Yeah, that works too.
Um,
Anything that you can like basically turn your brain off while listening to music, it's great. Love it.
oh yeah. Um, yeah, that's fun. Uh, but yeah, there's only a couple things I have to do before the school ends. I only have one final, which of
Oh,
course
that's
I got.
nice.
Yeah, of course I got put on the schedule for like exactly when my final is. So I had to request cover for that.
Oh, you yeah, work schedule.
Yes.
Yeah,
And and then I just have like one more paper to write, and it's like, okay, all right,
nice. Is
almost
that
there.
how worrisome is that final? Just curious.
What was it?
How like
How
worries?
worries?
Yeah, how worrisome is that final?
Uh, it's okay. I'm not like extremely worried about it. I have like a high B in that class, so it's like,
Okay.
um, it could be worse. And like
Oh, fair.
the test is the same as it's my Civil War and Reconstruction class, and like the
Hmm.
test on the last one, it was like kind of difficult, but we were also able to bring in like one side of one sheet of paper full of notes
Oh
to
yeah,
use on,
yeah.
and we were able to do that again. So,
Oh, okay.
it won't be too bad.
So you won't fail.
Um, no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
uh, but it's at 6:40 p.m. So
Interesting.
yeah, so the class is usually from 3:35 to 4:50. So
Hmm.
love that.
I think I only
My
ever had one of those late finals. It was weird.
Yeah, I think I've only had one other later final, but I don't think it was this late. Like
Yeah.
having a final go to like 8:40 at night. It's like,
Well, I
okay,
think they go until like 10 p.m. or something like
okay,
that. I had one that was pretty late. I don't remember if it was like that late. Yeah.
yeah. I've had a couple of like the 7:30 ones
Oh,
in
me
the
too.
morning.
Those suck.
Um, those are bad.
Oh, I remember that music history class that nearly killed me. That final was
Yeah.
one of those, and I was like, "All right, guess I'll die." Yeah.
um, but yeah, it's been an alright week.
Nice.
Just posting through,
Yeah.
But how's your week been, Mike?
Week's been fine. Just been doing the same work stuff with the parking. It was a little better this week. No death threats. I don't think anyone was called a dumb cunt this week, so
Oh,
we're progressing. Um, but we also have them in a new pattern to where they're basically retaking driver's ed. Everyone's driving through cones and shit,
mhm.
which they really did not like at first. But now it's smoother because they know what to expect, and
Okay.
you know what, it more puts us in less danger, and also their cars in less danger. So whatever.
Yeah.
That's been fine. I did that Monday through Thursday, and today I had off. So it's kind of
Nice.
nice. Um, my
Is it just the 2 hour shifts every time?
Yeah, and we're only really out there for like about 1 hour usually. We're there for 2 hours, but like I said last week, our boss, or like the person in charge of our area, he knows our worth. So it's like,
Right.
although if we're out there for the first hour, we literally would just be doing nothing. Like we would be stopping cars and you know, directing them when it's very clear that they can do it themselves. It's
Yeah.
yeah. When the shift change happens though in the second hour, that's we're out there for that.
Oh,
So it's really not too bad. Um, but yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Um, then my cat Riley, he got a little eye infection earlier this week. I started to notice his eye, like underneath his eye was a red, like a little pink. There was
Mm.
like a little pink strike. I was like, that's a little weird. My mom's like, yeah, we'll just watch it. And the next morning it was like big and puffy and shit. I was like, oh. Um,
Had to pop that sucker out.
yeah, yeah, we had to get rid of the eyes. No. But yeah, so my mom got him into the vet that day and everything. And I was a little worried about it just because that's kind of I don't know, that's not how Jake went, but in terms of like it was like, oh, Jake's acting a little weird. We'll watch
Uh,
it. And then I went into work and then I came home and then, we got the news that we're gonna have to put him down or whatever. I was like kind of getting flashbacks to that. And I was like, it made me feel a little uneasy, but he's fine. It's just a normal eye infection thing or something. Um, we gotta put a little medicine in his eye, which he does not enjoy. And then I think like 2 days afterwards, it spread to his other eye as well. So he currently he's honestly acting like himself for the most part. He just wants to
that's
sleep a little bit more, but
good.
not looking his best. But it's okay. He acts the same. He's fine. Um, but yeah, that was something that was happening this week. He's okay. He'll be all right. Um,
Yeah.
but on my ways to work and everything, I've been organizing my list of albums of the year and stuff.
Mhm.
I'm about halfway through it, and there's like honestly been a lot of shifting around.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's been some stuff that like I wasn't giving it enough credit to. That I'm like, you know what? That's actually really good. Why was I not liking this more? And then there was a few things that I had up a little higher that I'm like, this isn't as good. And then it got lowered a little bit. So, been interesting so far. I don't think there'll be as much moving around in my top few once I get up there, but
Right.
yeah, getting that all together, pretty good. I started watching Band of Brothers because it got put
Oh,
onto Netflix. Have you seen
good
that?
choice. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't. I know I've always heard that it's like one of the higher regarded TV series or miniseries or whatever. Um, and I saw it was on Netflix. There's actually a few things that they put on Netflix for this month that I'm gonna check out. There's a lot of good shit they added. Um,
Yeah, it's like the HBO stuff, which is weird.
is it a lot of HBO things? Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, like Band of Brothers is HBO. I think
Yeah,
they
I knew
added
that
like
was.
they added all of like the DCU kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah, I know. Like the
So I don't know.
Suicide Squad and the Suicide Squad got put on there. So,
Yeah.
but there was a few other things too that I was like, oh, I should check that out. I can't think off the top of my head. But Band of Brothers is good so far. I think I'm about halfway through it.
Mhm.
I've seen clips of David Schwimmer in there before,
Yeah.
Ross from Friends, but the first episode I forgot it was that show,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, hi Ross, didn't expect to see you in this position, but then like I
Yeah.
actually it's actually pretty good casting for how his character is in that first episode at least. Um,
We were on a break, Private.
yeah,
We were on
pivot,
a break.
pivot, pivot, yeah,
Pivot, Private.
yeah. Um, Yeah, him, and then also fucking keep calling him Edgar Wright. That's not his name. It's the guy. He plays like in Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, the main character. What's his name?
Oh, it's Simon
Simon
Pegg.
Pegg. Simon Pegg. Yeah, he's briefly in there too.
Uh,
I was like, is that Simon Pegg? Oh, it is Simon Pegg. What the hell? Um, but
Abraham from The Walking Dead's in there.
yeah,
Michael Clipless.
yeah. I think the episode I just watched was I don't know if he's gonna have more episodes, but that was like his episode kind of. It's like where he's in the barn and stuff. Um,
Yeah.
but I was like, he looks familiar. I was like, wait, is that Abraham from The Walking Dead? And then I checked, and I was like, oh my god, that is him.
Yeah. It
uh,
looks a lot different without facial hair.
he does. He looks so young in the show, but I was like, that kind of looks like him.
Uh-huh.
um, yeah, it's a good show though so far.
Uh,
I'll be honest in saying I don't know if I see why people regarded as like one of the best ever, but it's still very good. It's still entertaining. The effects are very good. I like how down to earth and realistic it feels.
Mm-hmm.
The characters make dumb mistakes, but dumb mistakes that like humans would make in general.
Right. Well,
I
it's
did
based on a true story, so it's like
right, but I mean even like small moments. Like there's one part in like the second episode where a guy goes to throw a grenade and like he just kind of like fumbles it in his hand on accident and it like lands into the trench next to him and his buddies or something like that.
yeah,
So they gotta jump ship real quick. But like things like that that I don't think anyone even died in that. But like those kinds of actions, it makes it feel real. You know.
right.
Um, but yeah, that's been pretty good. And
Yeah.
then last night, my friends and I we've been waiting to play this for a while, but they're all the UPS friends that I have, they're all in peak season right now. But we played last night Lethal Company, which is that game that's
Mm-hmm.
been going around a lot with the proximity voice chat and everything.
It's so good. I love
It
Brock.
is so good. You sent me a clip earlier of kind of that thing that people have been saying like gamers turn into 5-star voice actors or whatever. Um, and there was a few moments we had that were like that too. I sent one of them in your DMs, but that was
How did you? I can understand.
yeah, it was the Discord one. It was Daniel and his sister Natalie. They were walking around, and she just kind of just starts sinking out of nowhere, and they're just screaming for each other. And that was one. And then there was a really good one of Natalie and I were exploring like the room or whatever it is where you gather parts or shit. I still don't know much about the game, which I went into it
Yeah.
intentionally blind. There was like there was something on the ground, and we had just learned like what the parts look like and what the parts are that we have to pick up and stuff. And she thought
Right.
it was a part, but it was really a landmine. And just like
Oh,
you get like a 1 second reaction time to it turning bright red, and then I'm standing right behind her and we just get both blown up. And then we're spectating, we just see Daniel and his brother, and they're just like, their points aren't moving anymore, I think they're dead. They don't even know what happened. uh it's really
That's really
fun. Natalie was recording for a lot of that. I think whenever we play next, I'm gonna just, I don't know if I'm gonna post anywhere, but I'm gonna record my perspective as well, just for clips that are funny. But it's a very entertaining game.
Mhm.
um but yeah, that's pretty much my week, just more of same Christmas shopping, that and all
Mhm.
that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Well, speaking of games,
Yeah.
the trailer for GTA 6 came out,
Yes, it did.
um, releasing in 2025.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah, that's honestly a little better than I thought it was going to be. I
yeah,
saw some people
no,
like 2025 as if next year isn't 2024.
right.
But
2020 and 2024 isn't like less than a month away, so it's
right,
like
people are like 2 years from now. It's like, I mean, potentially, but I don't know.
well,
Most
a
likely
year and a
not. I
half.
don't know. Yeah,
Hopefully.
it's closer to 1 year.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I think it looks really good.
yeah. It looks great.
Good trailer.
Uh, the return to Vice City, I guess, which
Hmm.
like cool, but I kind of would have preferred a new setting compared to like going back to an old one. I don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
there were a bunch of leaks that happened a while ago, so I think I already knew it was in Vice City. So I didn't get like flashbang by that info or anything.
I,
Yeah,
I didn't see that. I wasn't like disappointed by it. I was just like, okay. I mean,
yeah,
cool. No, Chicago would have been cool.
yeah,
um, but it's whatever. I mean, if it's gonna be the whole state of Florida, then like that's fun. But
yeah,
yeah, that's pretty cool. It
yeah,
got leaked early, um, and then they had to release it officially a little early.
yeah. I was hearing about that.
But what else is new? Um,
Hmm.
the Game Awards happened last night. Um, Baldur's Gate swept,
Yeah, I saw
um,
that.
which like cool, happy for it. I like, but I think that Yuri Lowenthal, the guy who voices Spider-Man, the Spider-Man 2 and the first one,
Hmm.
um, he got snubbed. I think like his voice acting in the second game was out of this fucking world. Everything with like the symbiote and how emotional it was. Like this dude does like anime voice acting, so like he really, you know, he can do all those like screams and shit that like you know and like he brought some of that to the table in Spider-Man, and it's just like the emotion that he used in that second game was fucking fantastic. And like the award went to the probably the best character in Baldur's Gate, the guy who voices Astarion. He's like the vampire dude.
Yeah.
And you know, uh he's great. He's the best. He's probably the best character in that game. And like he has the best voice, the best lines and everything. But I don't know. It's just like okay, like people were really upset over Baldur's Gate winning Game of the Year, which like I get it, but like it was huge. It was huge this year. Like
Yeah, it was.
like I'm kind of surprised Tears of the Kingdom didn't win. Um, just because it's like that's something everyone was waiting for. Baldur's Gate was kind of like a surprise, like dark horse candidate that like it dropped in the middle of the year and like got huge out of fucking nowhere. But like I don't know. I'm happy for it. I'm happy for it. God of War Ragnarok's getting a little free DLC that's coming out in a couple days.
I don't think I've mentioned to you, but I ended up because it was on a good sale during Thanksgiving. I ended up buying that for PC, but
Oh really?
I haven't started playing yet. Just because RuneScape. But whenever I get sick of Leagues or when Leagues is done, I'll probably end up playing that as well.
Yeah, you're gonna fucking love it, dude.
The
It's
first
so
one,
good.
to be clear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is so fucking good, dude. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
It's I've mentioned it before, but that's one of the games that I literally know nothing, well, close to nothing about story wise, and I hear it has a great story, so
I'm so
I'm
jealous.
excited for that. Yeah.
If I could replay that game for the first time again,
Yeah.
if I could replay the second one for the first time because there's even crazier shit in that one.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know a couple of the crazy moments I think that are early on, but I don't know most of it, so yeah.
It's great. You're gonna love it.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, Christopher Judge, the guy who voices Kratos, he roasted
I
Call
saw
of
that.
Duty last night.
Yeah, that was a good clip.
It was so good. He fucking because he got up on stage and last year he went on for like 8 minutes when he was only supposed to do like 2 max. And he was like, "I'm gonna stick to the script this time. I'm not gonna go overtime. It's all gonna be good." I will say though, my speech from last year was longer than the campaign for Call of Duty this year, and
Yeah.
he went, "Oh, ooh."
That was a good ass
That's what the
roast.
company ever worked for.
Kick them while they're down.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I love that man.
Yeah.
But yeah, music wise, the second single from Gloom Division by I don't know how, but they found me dropped. Gloomtown Brass.
Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
Uh Honestly, not a fan.
Mm-hmm.
Um
Really?
I the first song never really grew on me, but I think that one's fine. What Love, I think it's called, right? Uh
Yeah.
I think that one's fine for what it is. This one I don't know. The chorus wasn't doing anything for me. Dallin sounded good on it, but he also sounded slightly awkward. And
Mm.
I hate to be that guy. The mix on the song is terrible. It's
Oh,
really like I feel like everything is so thin and like nothing is. I don't know. It feels like a demo almost, like the way it's mixed. I'm not like I don't think it's bad per se. But I also am not. It's not that great for me.
mm.
Yeah.
I listened to it a couple times when it first dropped. So it's been a couple days, but
Yeah.
or not a couple, but it's been like a day and a half. So, um, I didn't dislike it. I don't think I liked it as much as What Love. But I think it was more reminiscent of of like Razzmatazz kind of sound wise.
Yeah.
Which I was happy to hear. But yeah, I don't know. It's I'll have to listen to it again just to like catch the mixing on it. Um, but yeah, it's not. I don't think it's as good as the first one, but I wouldn't say I
Yeah, to be fair,
dislike it.
like it's something that another listener too could fix for me too. Just because I mean, there are good songs I like that don't have great mixes, right? But
Yeah,
for this one,
right.
just the song itself, I didn't really know what it was going for, and it didn't really. I don't know. I was just kind of confused when listening to it. I was like, this is just, I don't know, not like it was too weird for me to understand, but I just didn't really know the vibe it was going for. So
Yeah,
I don't know. It could be something that once I get it, I might be a little more warm to, but I don't know. Yeah.
yeah. Was there any other? Do you have any other music news?
Yeah, I do have one. Mr. Wilbur of Wilbur Soot released another solo album.
Mhm.
So did have you ever listened to the original Jubilee line?
No.
Okay. He basically his solo stuff is he has like one album of solo stuff that's like it's basically mostly acoustic guitar with Wilbur's voice and like maybe some lo-fi sound effects in there. Which I honestly think he sounds pretty good on. Sorry, I should. He released a second album in a very similar vein to that, called Mammalian Sighing Reflex. Uh, Weird name, but it was fine. It was more of that sound, which I do like him over, but it
Mhm.
was longer. It was like 30 minutes as opposed to like 4 tracks, which I think the first album was. Um,
Mhm.
and I don't know. It was a little boring, and there's some weird. There's a couple times where he went on like auto tune passages of stuff over like acoustic instrumentation. It was a little weird at points, but it was kind of whatever for the most part. But that did release. I think it was a surprise release. I was just scrolling through album of the year, like, did anything come out? And I was like, oh, that's Wilbur Soot. I should probably listen to that. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're a Wilbur Soot stan.
Oh, you know
You
me. I
you.
love. I mean, you're the one with Dream on your profile pics, so I know how big of a
Yeah.
Dream SMP fan you are,
Oh, you know.
and still are. Uh,
Yeah. I remember watching it with my sister on January 6th, 2021.
yes, that's uh, yeah, the second best thing that happened that day.
both of their birthday and the day that something big happened on the SMP. So
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
uh,
nothing else happened that day though.
no.
But yeah, um, that's fun.
And then other than that, this isn't music news, but there was a trailer for The Boys season 4 that was
Oh
released as
yeah.
well. Got some clips of Jeffrey Dean Morgan interacting with uh why can't I think of his name? Uh what what's the main character of The Boys? Not Huey.
Butcher.
Butcher, thank you. My brain is not working today. Yeah, Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Butcher talking to each other. Those are going to be some. It's going to be some good content.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Oh, me too. Best part of those later parts of the Walking Dead season that I
Oh,
saw.
oh,
Um,
like I mentioned back like this time or like towards the end of the year last year when I was watching it, watching the last couple seasons with my mom.
uh huh.
The one really good episode in those last couple seasons was it was an episode that went into Negan's backstory, and it was just that the whole episode.
Yeah, I saw
So,
clips of that. And they looked like good clips.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, it was really good shit. But yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Well,
Cool.
hop into this artist analysis of Miss Mitski here.
Hell yeah. Yes, we
All right.
can. You want to go first? I feel like I usually go first.
Sure, I can go first.
Hell yeah.
And we start in 2012 with Lush. I said, this is a very well done and gorgeous debut from Miss Mitski. The singing is absolutely stunning and soulful, full of both love but also yearning. It's kind of a running theme for the rest of the discography, to be honest. But um, different styles tackled in songs like "Brand New City," was super interesting and out of nowhere. But Mitski was able to tackle it like it was, or handle it like it was nothing. Um, I know none of her albums are on the longer side, but I honestly would have listened to this for another like 20 plus minutes. And that's saying a lot for this being just a debut record. But yeah, overall, super well done and super cool production. I was, and I said I was looking forward to the rest. But yeah, the debut caught me by surprise. I was like, we'll see how this goes. Could go either way. I knew like her voice would be great, of course. But like the different stuff that was done on here was like, okay, all right,
Yeah.
didn't see this coming. But yeah, really good debut. My favorites were Pearl Diver, Brand New City, Bag of Bones, Door, and Abby. And my least favorites were Real Men and Eric, and I gave it a light 8 overall.
Cool. Yeah, I said full transparency. I accidentally did an oopsie and I messed up the listening order for myself. So this is actually
Ooh.
the fourth album that I'm hearing from her. Smooth start, Mike. Thanks, Mike. Anyways, this this was actually a pretty nice listen. It definitely feels more like a debut than album 2, which I thought was the debut. Especially in like the raw instrumentation that is here. However, I think it honestly works pretty well for the record because I found myself connecting a little bit more with the lyrics on this one than the few albums I've already spoiled for myself. Um, for reference, the first, or for reference, my first listens tend to usually focus on the sound of the songs rather than the lyrical subjects these days. But this album found a great balance at doing both of those, and I was catching lyrics, I was catching sounds, and it was all melding together nice for a first listen. Um, in fact, I really love the opener of this thing with Liquid Smooth, and
Yeah.
what and Wife was a really pretty follow up as well. However, there are also signs of a debut project, with some songs on here just feeling a little underdeveloped or just a little bit awkward in general for me. It was nothing bad, but just less realized than her future content and some of the other stuff on here. It's a short listen, but it's a nice introduction, or even a fourth album if you wish. Um, my favorites on here were Liquid Smooth, Wife, and Pearl Diver, and my least favorites were Abby, Eric, and Real Men. And overall, I gave it a decent 7. Cool. All right. Moving on to Retired from Sad, New Career in Business from 2013. Um, I said, and for reference, again, this is the first album I listened to, but whatever. I ended up listening to this one twice because, similar to how my thoughts have been with her most recent album, some things just weren't clicking for me here that I felt should have. It's by no means bad. I actually really enjoy her vocals and the ambition she clearly has on this record. There's some bold sounds on here that I wasn't expecting, especially the opener. I remember being like, "This is a little weird," um, but I appreciated the inclusion of that kind of stuff. I didn't really find myself actively gravitating towards many of these tracks, even if I liked what she was doing. There were some points towards the ends of songs like Humpty and I Want You that I was like really getting into. But even on the second listen, I only really gravitated toward the second half of those songs and not really towards the first half of them. I'm going into these with an open mind, but I do hope that there's more that I end up latching onto in this artist analysis in general. And I put, it's good. Um, my favorites were Humpty, I Want You, and my least favorites were Goodbye, My Danish Sweetheart, and Square. And overall, I gave it a light 7.
All right. Cool. Yep. Retired from sad, new career in business. Uh, this one is still good, but not as good as the first, in my opinion. The singing is still gorgeous, of course, as I expect it to be for the entirety of this analysis. The production is a little more lush than on Lush.
Nice.
Just
Thank you. Yeah.
yeah, I wrote I wrote Badumtish in my notes just so I remember to do that.
Nice. Little cue, you know.
Yes, yeah. And the emotion is still there. It's still more than there. Sorry. But yeah, I don't know. It didn't really capture me as much as the first record. That's not to say any of it is bad. Quite the opposite is true. And on future listens, it could definitely grow on me. That being said, on first listen, Shame was like super anxiety inducing for me, I guess.
Was that
I
the
don't know.
opener?
Shame, no, it was like, I think it was towards the middle of the album.
Okay.
Um,
I don't remember it.
but like, there was something with the production that like, it was in my, I had earbuds in, and it was like super like loud and eerie at the same time. I don't know.
Interesting.
But yeah, it gave me anxiety for some reason. Yeah, I said something about the instrumental and the way Mitski was singing. Gave me anxiety, but I don't know. Yeah, it's just I don't know, not as good as the first record, but it had a couple of cool moments. It might grow on me, like I said, on future listens, but for now, my favorites were Shame, Square, I Want You, and Strawberry Blonde, and my least favorite was Humpty. I thought that one was kind of weird,
That's okay.
and gave it a decent 7.
Sorry, I just thought that was funny the way you were like, yeah, that song gave me a lot of anxiety. And then you're like, my favorites are Shame.
Yeah.
Anxiety in a good way, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just a funny, yeah. Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, next we got Bury Me at Makeout Creek in 2014. I said, okay, wow. I've enjoyed the rock sound that Mitski has played with in the last couple of records, but the use of it throughout this entire album was really cool to see. The mix of her melodic singing over heavy, dirty sounding bass and guitar was super interesting and worked surprisingly well. Also, when she delved or dived more into that more screamy type thing, like on "Drunk Walk Home," it was a side to her that I hadn't seen yet, but I would not mind getting more of it. Super interesting and not what I expected, but really good shit. I've seen like the album cover quite a bit.
Oh,
And
really?
like she's got pretty, yeah. I've seen,
Hmm.
it's like that open window one, but
I feel like that was the first time I'd seen it. That's interesting.
yeah, I feel like I don't know. There's places I've seen it for some reason, and like I was like, okay, that's I like that cool minimalistic kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, pretty good album. I liked it quite a bit. Best ones thus far into the discography. But my favorites are Drunk Walk Home, I Don't Smoke, First Love, Late Spring, Carry Me Out, I Will, and Texas Reznikoff. And my least favorite was Townie, and I gave it a strong 8.
All right. Cool. Yeah, Bury Me at Makeout Creek. I said when this album started, I was getting similar feelings to the last record, but with the added bonus of it feeling a little grittier and noisier. However, something really clicked for me a few tracks in, and I really started to enjoy these tracks a bit more. The production and vocal combo on this record work just a lot better on here for me. I love the melodies of the tracks, like I Don't Smoke and Drunk Walk Home. But what really sold it for me was the big sound of Carry Me Out. I think
Mm.
I can say that's the first Mitski song that I loved when doing this listening. This was also pre-listening to Lush, and I would say I loved Liquid Smooth as well, from what I remember.
Yeah.
But for when I was listening to this, that was the first one I loved. And yeah, something about that track really drew me in and just felt satisfying for me as a listener. And I'm hoping to have more of those feelings as we keep going. Starting to warm up a little bit more. My favorites were Carry Me Out, I Don't Smoke, Drunk Walk Home, and First Love, Late Spring. And my least favorites were Townie and Last Words of a Shooting Star. And overall, I gave it a light 8.
Cool.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah, it's me again.
yep.
How many of these have we done before? Um,
Yeah.
quite a bit. All right. Puberty 2 from 2016. I've looked at Mitski's discography before in the past, and for some reason, always seeing the album title of Puberty 2, it just puts a little smile on my face. I don't know. It's just a charming name for me. It's just funny. Um, as for the music, it really feels like a midpoint of her sophomore album and her third album for me. Uh, those the correct ones? Yes, her sophomore album and her third album. The track list almost feels split in half between songs I thoroughly enjoyed and ones that were just kind of whatever for me. But for the ones I really enjoyed, I really felt a step up on the lyricism and general pacing with them. Um, it felt like more of a satisfying listening experience, and it really makes the standout tracks stand out even more. Um, and even if I don't always care for the outcome, I do like the balance of noisy guitars and like softer ballads that are present throughout the album.
Uh-huh.
But as with a lot of her other stuff, for me at this point, not everything was connecting for me. I found some of the tracks to be noticeably weaker on a songwriting and production end. I didn't always enjoy the energy, such as there's like a short pop punk esque track on here. I don't remember which one because I didn't put the name. I said it's not bad by any means, but just some of the tracks just really aren't my thing on here. But yeah, my favorites were Fireworks, I Bet on Losing Dogs, Once More to See You, and A Loving Feeling. My least favorites were My Body's Made of Crushed Little Stars, Thursday Girl, and Happy. And overall, I gave it a decent 7.
Well, um, I don't agree. But um, I said this is the best project thus far.
Damn.
I'm still absolutely loving these more rock forward instrumentals mixed with Mitzi's gorgeous melodic voice and singing style. Still sometimes diving into that more screamy, yelly type singing that melds well with those instrumentals. The production continues to get more interesting, adding more of those cool MIDI effects and looping sounds throughout points in the album. Uh, there's also this cool mix of orchestral type strings that managed to blend well with the already present instrumentals, which was cool to hear as well. Um, the lyrics continue to be very like personal and introspective, which are only accentuated by her beautiful vocals. But yeah, I thought it was a fantastic record. I think this is one of the ones that's like more it's like highly rated.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but and yeah, I ended up really liking it. But yeah, that's just me. My favorites were I Bet on Losing Dogs. My body is made of crushed little stars. Crack Baby, which I thought was a great name.
Yeah.
Um, Happy and Thursday Girl. I
Damn.
didn't really have yeah. I didn't really have any least favorites, and I gave it a solid 9.
Wow, nice. I just find it funny that all my least favorites made it into your favorites.
Yeah,
That's okay though. It's
yeah,
we're not the same person.
yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, then we move on to Be the Cowboy in 2018.
Yeah.
Said I said, damn, another banger album from Miss Mitski here. This album delves more into an electronic feel with a little bit more of a poppy style throughout a lot of it, and I'm here for it. The lyrics are still killer, and Mitski's vocals are honestly will honestly never get old for me. Um, the production is very good as always, especially as the album did delve into more electronics this time around. Geyser is a fantastic opener, and there are some recognizable tracks on here as well. Nobody, uh,
Hmm.
which was like big on TikTok for a bit. Um, but yeah, man, this album is just as good, if not a little better than the last one, in my opinion, and I'll definitely be returning to it. Also, another iconic album cover. Um, I've seen this one a lot.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I have also.
but yeah, really like this one as well. My favorites were Washing Machine Heart, Geyser, Me and My Husband, Nobody, and Why Didn't You Stop Me? I didn't have any least favorites for this one either, and I gave it a solid 9 as well.
All right. Damn.
Yeah.
All right. Be the Cowboy, 2018. We did it, everyone. We found a Mitski album that I genuinely enjoy. While there are still, not that I didn't enjoy the other ones, but I meant that like a yeah, whatever. Uh, while there are still a few tracks I don't necessarily care for on here, there's the consistency of great songs just felt stronger on this record for me. I absolutely loved all of the sound palettes traveled on here. Mitski's vocals were as great as ever, and most importantly, the blend of the instrumentals and her felt more intertwined than they have on some of her other stuff. I love the pacing, going from bangers to ballads to poppier bops. This just feels like all of her strongest aspects placed into one extremely solid track list. I don't have much else to say other than I think this may be peak Mitski for me, unless I have strong feelings for Laurel Hell. And I said my favorites were A Pearl, Me and My Husband, Nobody, Geyser, Washing Machine Heart, Pink in the Night, and Two So Dancers. I believe I wrote that right. And my least favorites were Blue Lights, Old Friend, and Remember My Name. And overall, I gave it a decent 8. It was a good album. I like.
Cool.
Ooh.
Nice.
All right. Next we have Laurel Hell, which I forgot to put the date of, but I think that's 2022.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that was last year. Yeah. Laurel Hell. I said, well, even though I haven't been connecting much with Mitski's work as a whole, this album shows me that I did at least enjoy the sound palettes of guitars and general rock influence. Here, she sheds most of those sounds in favor of like a synth pop type sound. And look, I love me some good synth pop. The problem is that I don't really like the synths on this synth pop record. Um, all of the main like synth patches and stuff that are used just kind of sound super thin and dated to me. And I don't really think that was an intentional choice. Like I'd argue that most of these tracks reach a surprisingly nice climactic point, but
Mhm.
I'm not invested enough in the first 2/3 of the track to have it save the song entirely. There were a couple songs I enjoyed off of here. One of them being Heat Lightning, which has like this gorgeous orchestral crescendo in the middle of the track that may be like one of my favorite moments in her discography yet. But even that song is plagued a little bit by having this longer synthy outro that didn't really capitalize off of that beautiful swell that happened. Um, and to be clear, I really don't think any of these songs themselves are bad. I think Mitski herself still sounds pretty good over these instrumentals, and I find the actual structures of these songs to be paced and well written to reach those climax points that a lot of them do. Um, I'm just not really huge on the sounds that were used to deliver them for me.
Yeah.
My favorites were Heat Lightning and Valentine, Texas. My least favorites were Everyone, Stay Soft, The Only Heartbreaker, and Love Me More. And overall, I gave it a light 6.
Yeah. I said this is the second time listening to this record, first time actually digesting it. Um, while I enjoyed my time listening to this one, it does feel like a bit of a step down from the last couple. Feels a little subdued at points, just not hitting those same marks as before. Mitzi still sounds fantastic, of course, and the lyrics are still good as well. The production is a lot different this time around, delving more into like a synthy 80s type vibe uh, that was akin to someone like Kate Bush, in my opinion,
Yeah.
um, which is cool. It's a cool aesthetic, and she sounds good on it. But I'm kind of missing the sound of the last couple records, those guitars, the orchestral stuff. There are a couple orchestral moments like on Heat Lightning. But yeah, I don't know. It's not bad, just not as good as the last couple, in my opinion. But my favorites were The Only Heartbreaker, Working for the Knife, Love Me More, Should Have Been Me, and Valentine, Texas. And my least favorites was Everyone, and I give it a decent 7.
All right.
So still enjoyable, but
Yeah.
it's good.
Cool.
Yeah. Then we land in the year of our Lord 2023 with her most recent album, The Land is Inhospitable, and So Are We. And I said, now that's what I'm talking about. I'm a real sucker. I'm a real sucker for that folky Western sound. And this record does it beautifully. Those whiny guitars and gentle drums with some beautiful strings. Yes, beautiful strings complement Mitski's voice so well, and I really love it. The songwriting is still fantastic. Mitski's voice is just continues to be as gorgeous as ever. Um, there's also a return of that more noisy style at some points, which is super cool to see. Um, and that super cool to see that they work overall. What the fuck did I write? Um, which is cool to see that work with the overall feel of the album. Okay, that made more
So you like
sense.
the noisiness with the folky sound.
Yes,
There you
yes,
go.
it was. Yeah, this is definitely on my year-end list this year, and I'll be returning to it for a while. Uh, Beautiful record through and through. I really, really like this record a lot. And my favorites were Heaven, My Love, Mine All Mine, The Deal, I'm Your Man, and Bug Like an Angel. I didn't have any least favorites either, and I gave it a decent 9.
All right. Cool. Uh, so I said, now, I don't know about you, ladies and gentlemen, but this is the moment I've been waiting for. Um, will I finally solidify my opinion on this album? Since its release, I've been back and forth on if I particularly enjoyed it or not. Uh, it was a lot of back and forth. Why did I write that twice? But I'm happy to say that within the context of her albums, this is actually pretty good. It is a departure from the sound that she's presented up until now, but it's executed very well. I still don't love everything about this album. I think it can get a little too artsy for the sake of artsiness, and I don't always love every song on here. However, the acoustic, folky, driven nature of this album leads to some gorgeously stunning moments across its runtime. I've always loved the opener, and I still commend it for those vocal layers that happen. They're so thick in the mix, and they're executed beautifully. Um, there's numerous climaxes on here that are insanely good, like Star and I Love Me After You. Her vocals are pretty good here, too. It may be a weird complaint, but I've always found the strong reverb on her vocals to disconnect me a little bit from the folky sound. But I don't feel as strongly about this opinion anymore since it's kind of been that she's kind of had this vocal style throughout all of her albums. I'm still not crazy about it, but I also don't think it's as big of a thing that I made it out before. I don't know. And yeah, and there's songs on here that what am I saying? And there's some songs on here. Oh, sorry. Okay, I just wrote that sentence weird. And there's some songs here and there that are pretty, but don't quite hit the mark for me. So I still like them, but they're not. They just don't quite have that connection that I've been talking about a lot. Yeah, this is a good album, and I can see why people have been loving it so much this year. My favorites are Bug Like an Angel, Star, My Love, Mine, Oh Mine, Heaven, and I Love Me After You. My least favorites are When Memories Snow, I Don't Like My Mind, and I'm Your Man. And overall, I have it at a light 8.
Okay, cool.
Cool. All right. Overall thoughts. Um, I said, if it hasn't been evident throughout this analysis, I don't think Mitski is entirely my thing. She's adjacent to being my thing, but I think the execution is in a different style that I'm just not as crazy about personally. And that's okay. I definitely have a new appreciation for her as an artist after this analysis. And I absolutely see why people enjoy her music to the level that they do. It's just not something that I'm always vibing with personally. But there are several things to respect about Mitski. For one, I do like how she keeps her albums roughly around the 30-minute range. Obviously, that makes it easier for us to do an analysis like this, lol. But I also think it prevents her albums from feeling like they're bloated or overstaying their welcome or anything like that. They're always in that sweet spot of leaving you wanting more, but in a good way. I also really respect her approach to trying new genres. When she tries something, she commits to it. And while I don't always love that outcome, I always feel that artistic spirit in her work which tells me that she's making the music that she wants to be making. No one's, saying, "Hey, go make a synth pop album" or something. Like I knew she wanted to do that. And she could very well be a case where one day all of her music just clicks for me, and each of these albums is raised up by an entire point or more. But for right now, this is just how I'm feeling about her work. Lovely voice, lovely production, and lovely artistic drive. Just not entirely for dumb old Mikey over here. Yeah.
Um, yeah. Said Mitski's a true icon with a much different discography than I was expecting. The amount of noise that was included in her earlier works was very surprising, but super welcome as well. She manages to fit within any style that she has employed over the years, and is honestly worthy of all the acclaim that she has acquired. Um, I will say that there are definitely some moments where I wish a song was longer, or even the whole album was longer. In general, as all of her records fall between like 35 minutes or below. Nothing wrong with that, but there's nothing wrong with Little More Mitski either.
Mm.
She's an extremely talented artist with really no big misses, in my opinion, and definitely someone I'll be returning to more often. Her discography kind of caught me by surprise. I wasn't expecting to love it as much. I knew I was going to like a lot of it, having really enjoyed the record from this year, and having heard good things about her in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she caught me by surprise. I really, really enjoyed this discography, and it's okay that you didn't as
And it's
much.
okay that you did.
Yes, it is. We're not the same person.
Yeah.
um,
I don't want to be Dream anyway. No.
neither do I. It's a curse.
Oh, okay.
Um, but yeah, Mitski hit me up.
Oh shit! All right. She did. She did talk a lot about sex and like being
She
naked and
did.
shit. So.
Yeah. But yeah, my album ranking goes Be the Cowboy, Puberty 2, This Land is Inhospitable, and So Are We. Bury Me at Makeout Creek, Lush, Retired from Sad, New Career in Business, and Laurel Hell. And overall, I gave her a strong 8.
Nice. We basically have the same list except Puberty 2 is displaced. But my ranking is Be the Cowboy, The Land is Inhospitable, and So Are We, Bury Me at Makeout Creek, Puberty 2, Lush, Retired from Sad, New Career in Business, and Laurel Hell. And overall, I gave her like a decent to strong 7.
Cool. All right.
Cool.
Neato.
Al, yeah. What'd you say? Meow?
I said, yeah, that's what I said. I said neato.
Oh, neato. Okay. So you're just like meow. All right.
Meow.
Um. Okay. Cool. Well, do you want to just get into song of the week?
Yeah, we can hop into song of the week.
Cool. I am up this week. And I think I'm gonna choose the song that I said I really enjoyed a lot, but I honestly am not remembering at this point because it was in the first part of my listening. Um, for song of the week, I'm going to choose "Carry Me Out" by Mitski.
All right.
All right, that was "Carry Me Out" by Mitski. What did you think of that, Colin?
I think that's a great track. It has a lot of that noisy stuff that I was talking about that I really liked and was surprised by. I like that intro or that outro rather. But all of it was good, even the intro as well. But yeah, I like that one a lot. It's one of I think it's one of my favorites on that album.
Yeah, I think
Sure.
you mentioned that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me, maybe I didn't really even think about it until you were doing your overall thing with how some of the songs are short and stuff like that. And maybe that's
Mm-hmm.
part of the thing that disconnects me a little bit from her. But because on this song, I think the pacing is just really great. I think how it
Oh yeah.
just builds up slowly and then just kind of is in your face with those loud rock vocals and rockin' shit. You know, it's great. Like I think the pacing just works really well for it being kind of a longer song for her a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. It's very satisfying. I liked it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. Well, I'm gonna go with the opener for "Be the Cowboy." I'm gonna go with "Geyser"
All
by
right.
Mitski. All right, that was "Geyser" by Mitski. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I mean that's a great track. I had that in my top tracks of this album as well. It's a great opener. Another banger in 6/8. You know,
Yeah,
what more can you ask for? No, it's great. And I completely forgot also about the little like noise jump scare that's towards the beginning of the
yeah,
track. It caught me off guard in the listening, and it caught me off guard now. It's cool. It's a cool track. I like it a lot.
yeah, yeah. That weird like I think it's like a siren-esque noise at the beginning.
Yeah.
Um, I was like, oh, Goodwill Hunting.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I really like it as an opener. It's a little short, but it works really well just to like introduce the album. Um, yeah, I love that one a lot. It just caught me by surprise on first listen.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's a great one. Although could have done with maybe a Billie Eilish mention in there if they're going to use that song,
Oh
but
yeah,
you know,
for sure.
it's forgivable, you know.
Yeah, yeah, no, it is.
Yeah.
I think the only thing she had out of the time might have been um,
Don't
the
look
her
at me.
EP.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
but who
Yeah.
knows? Maybe in the future, a Billie Eilish reference from Mitski.
Oh, one can only hope. All
Yeah.
right. Sick. Well, that was our Mitski artist analysis. Hope you
Mhm.
enjoyed and hope I still enjoyed it. Don't crucify me. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Last artist analysis of 2023.
so true.
That's pretty crazy. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
we're gonna do
Um.
a list of something next week, and then we're themed for the next like month.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that time of the year again.
Hell yeah.
So,
Cool.
cool.
Alrighty. Well, you or do you have anything else to add?
No, you can go ahead and outro us.
I will outro us. Um. Yeah. If you enjoyed, if you're an audio listener and you enjoyed, you can come on over to Discord. See those funny little Discord pictures we were talking about. Um. we
Yeah.
have we have this high tech that shows a little green box around us, so it lets us know which of us is talking at any time. You know,
It's,
it's
it's
very
definitely not
visually
a built
pleasing.
feature.
No, no, definitely not. Definitely not a built-in feature, but is very visually pleasing. It's kind of like when you're watching a TikTok and there's Minecraft parkour underneath. That's what these
Exactly.
green.
Your subway surfers or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, these green boxes are pure, just you know, euphoria. Um,
Yeah. I
yeah,
love that show.
yeah, that show's about euphoria, right? The
Hmm.
feeling. Yeah, okay, cool. Um, but yeah, you can come on over to YouTube. More under the same name, Broken Boys. Capital NBOYS. You can come on over and you can see us as Gnome Child and Dream. Actually, Gnome Child and Dream is a really great pairing. I didn't even think of that until right now.
Yeah, he loves children.
Exactly. Oh, beautiful. It's just poetry. It writes itself, you know.
He really
Um,
does.
but you can also come to the description where we got song links to the song of the week playlist where you can find my song, which is called "Carry Me Out" by Mitski, or "Geyser" by Mitski. In the song of the week playlist we have down there, we got one for me, we got one for Colin, we got one for us combined, as well as all the guests that we frequently have on this show. Um,
Yes,
Go check those out, especially that combined playlist. It's crazy.
for sure.
You never
Yeah,
know what
go
you.
for
It's like Birdie Bot's every flavor bean,
really. Yeah, it really is. Like,
Yeah.
you could be diving into Joe, you could be diving into Boy Genius, and then today, the next draw you got, you can get fucking AJR. Uh,
I don't know why. Every
yeah.
time you mention AJR, it's just so funny. We have them in our Song of the Week
Well, they
playlists.
were another artist analysis, and also you did the dumb song,
I did like the
so
dumb song.
you did like remember that.
It's funny. Yeah, it's a great time over there.
Really?
But if you want to check out stuff from us, first off, ew. Second off, uh, you can find me in a lot of places. First off, I have Spotify and Apple Music, where I'm under the artist name of Plaintive. I have an album
Yeah,
out there. Um,
yeah.
Go check it out. Like I've been teasing, new music sometime next year, probably. I
Such a tease.
like a 95% sure confidence. Um,
All right.
yeah.
Oh.
So go ahead and get a head start. Follow over there. Catch up on the plaintive lore with coping mechanism. Um,
Hmm.
I also have my YouTube down there, and I got my Instagram, I think, and I have my album of the year page where I rate and review music. You can go check out all my Mitski reviews on there. Go trash me on there. You know, it's great. Um,
Hmm.
and trash me for giving out sevens.
Yeah, to Mitski. Ooh,
Yeah,
you're gonna get roasted.
that's a sin, bro. Um, but yeah, I'm also. Oh man, what is my proximity to you, the viewer? Um,
Buried at Making Creek? Are you in Laurel Hell?
yeah,
Are you in the inhospitable land?
you know what? I am the cowboy, and
Oh,
I'm right behind you on a horse. Got my cowboy hat on. In overalls with no shirt. You know, it's great. Um,
oh yeah.
that's me.
That's what I.
Yeah. Picture that,
You said.
please. Huh?
What did you say?
I said, picture that, please. Um,
Oh, that's all I picture when I picture you, Mike.
yeah. What were
So,
you gonna say?
no, did you say you were on a horse?
Yes, I am on a horse. Yeah.
All right,
So
perfect.
it's like a Red Dead scene. I'm
Mm.
like a hillbilly you'll encounter out in the middle of nowhere. Um, that's me, the
I only
cowboy.
dressed up Morgan. I only dressed up Arthur Morgan in overalls and no shirt.
Yeah,
So,
it's the best look. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, and then we got Colin over there. He's got stuff for us as well. He runs our TikTok page and our X page, Twitter page,
No,
um,
Twitter page.
where you can see updates for all these episodes and also some funny clips over on TikTok. They're great. Go check those out. He puts effort and time into this. Um,
Hmm.
and he also has stuff of his own. He has an album of the year page where he rates and reviews music.
Hmm.
Maybe Mitski reviews up by the time
It's no, probably not by the time it comes out, but I will be updating it because it's the end of the year. So
coming
got to get
soon.
on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He also has a letterbox where he rates and reviews movies.
Hmm.
And he has an old Instagram review page where you can see relics of a distant time of
Hmm.
of reviews. Um,
They're
yeah,
there.
they are there.
I Yeah, I did. I did like a lead up to Scaled and Icy for 21 Pilots.
That's true.
Um, those are some of my favorite little edited album covers that I did. So if you want
Yeah,
to check
yeah,
those
yeah.
out, but yeah,
Go do that. Um,
sure.
sure. And what would you say your proximity is to them, Colin?
Um, well, I would love to be the cowboy. You've already taken that.
Damn right I
So,
did.
um, uh, hmm. I'm just standing right in front of them, being lush as ever.
Damn.
My hair's lush. I got lush makeup on. Yeah, I did my face up just for this. But yeah, I'm not too far, not too close, but I'm just near enough for them to admire my lushness.
Yeah. I feel like between you and I, we're writing like a novel that Fabio would be on the cover of.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure, for
yeah.
sure. Be the lush cowboy with Fabio.
Yeah. Um, yeah. You want to? would you like to say what they can do?
Sure. Yeah. Well, we like to give our viewers what we call a love cage, and that is where Mike Mike will jump off his horse, and because he'd be pretty high up.
I'll get off my high
Otherwise,
horse. Yeah.
you get you get off your you get off your high horse, jump down onto the ground with your sweaty chest from riding in the sun all day. Um, up behind you, the viewer, and me in my lush beauty we're gonna come together. You in the middle. We're gonna hug you from in front and behind, and encage you in our love cage as me and Mike viciously make out right next to your head. Um, and you're gonna have to be a little careful of my makeup this week, but
Yeah.
we're still definitely gonna be making just the most disgusting slobbery noises right next to your head. To the theme of Mitski, because that's what we're doing this week.
Yeah. There may be
Um,
some tears mixed in there too.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Blood, sweat, and tears go into these love cages every week.
Yeah.
And if you like your own love cage, because I know that sounds just the best, you can drop your address in the comments below. We will find you. You won't know when, you won't know where, but we will, and we will give you your very own love cage.
Yeah.
And you want to tell them about the one we fulfilled today?
Yeah, we did one on like a pirate ship, which was kind of interesting. It was I didn't know the pirates still had ships, but it was like an old rickety one, waves splashing up and down. It was a little hard to, hold and lock in the cage, but
Yeah.
it was, we were able to do it. We made a very happy matey that day. Uh, yeah.
Yeah, my mast was up. So
Yeah, man. uh, yeah. I just don't have a response to that. That was just great. um, but yeah, that was a more unique one. But you know what? Like we say, anytime, any place, anywhere, we'll be there
yeah,
for you. Um, yeah,
yeah, and we were the captain. So
we were the
captain,
captain then.
yes,
Yeah,
not now, but then.
but then, yeah. Um, all right. Well, uh, that's about it.
Yeah. All right. Well,
We'll see you next week for a list of some sort, a bracket of some
yeah,
sort.
a bracket of some sort.
Hell yeah.
Thanks,
Okay.
guys.
Bye bye. Love you.
Bye
Mama,
bye.
mama.